Good afternoon, everyone. Maven Gaming here. You can catch my stream online at twitch.tv/mavengaming. Today, I'm going to be covering a how-to guide on a PvP spec combat Sentinel. This is my first video guide, in fact, my first guide I have ever made. So please, leave any comments or concerns or questions you may have on how to improve the guide, the spec, or any questions you have on the guide or spec as well. I'm going to be trying to keep this brief and detailed as much as possible. So let's move on to our spec. We're going to start over on the left side in the Watchman tree. Valor is a crucial part to our build because Valor increases our centering build whenever we use abilities that spend focus. With the recent changes to Alacrity, Zen will now allow us to increase our burst potential across all abilities as opposed to just Blade Rush, which was initially how Zen worked. We're going to be moving on to Focus Slash. We're going to put 3 points in here because with the increase to Alacrity, combat is more focus starved than ever before. Although we do not use Slash and Merciless Slash, Dispatch, however, comes off proc now, and Blade Rush, which is our main ability, will help to refund one focus, help to keep that pool of focus built, which will help us to activate our Zen to increase our burst potential. We're going to put 2 points into Jedi Crusader. Combat initially has a weak defense. Rebuke is a key ability to use in combat because it will help to reflect damage back as well as to help build focus. I will always take 2 points in here because in PvP you're always more than likely going to be targeted. I'm going to put 2 points into Defensive Forms. Defensive Forms will increase our centering built when attacked to further add to our centering pool and to further increase our burst potential again. It also increases our movement speed by 15% while in combat to help us stay on target. We're going to put 2 points into Melee and Force Accuracy into the Steadfast ability. We're going to put 3 points into Dual Wield Mastery. Our offhand attacks are crucial in combat build, and Blade Rush automatically activates an offhand Ataru form strike. So this 36 increased damage to that attack is crucial. I'm going to put 2 points into defensive roll. This is a little bit controversial because a lot of people say don't take defensive roll. However, since combat is already weak defensively, and the majority of attacks in PvP come from AoE damage, this only helps to further increase our survivability in combat. We will not take 2 points in stagger because our Master Strike will immobilize the target as well as our crippling throw, which we will go over later. We are going to skip over the stagger points. We're going to put 1 point into Ataru form. Ataru form is our main form to use while playing combat. In Ataru form, we have a 3% increase to accuracy, and our successful melee attacks have a 20% chance to trigger a second strike. The second strike is known as the Ataru form strike. We're going to put 2 points in Opportune Attack. Our Opportune Attack lets our Ataru form hits. That means the second hit that's triggered gives our next Blade Storm deal 10% more damage, a 30% chance. Although the 30% chance seems pretty low, and I hope this will be buffed soon, it's a great ability to get. We're going to put 2 points into Ataru Mastery. Ataru Mastery increases damage dealt by our triggered Ataru form attack, so that second attack that comes from Ataru form will be increased by 15%. Opportune Attack is consumed by a Blade Storm, you generate 1 focus. So when our Opportune Strike is procced, hold on. Next, we'll go into Combat Trance. Combat Trance, when we use our Opportune Attack when it is procced, and we use that Blade Storm, we will generate 1 additional focus. That Blade Storm will cost 1 less focus. We will go into Immaculate Force. Immaculate Force increases our Opportune Attack critical chance of Blade Storm by 100%. So essentially what this means is every time you use an Ataru form, every time you land an Ataru form hit, your Blade Storm critical chance will be 100%. We will now put 2 points into Righteous Zeal. Righteous Zeal reduces the cooldown of Zealous Strike by 3 seconds. Zealous Strike is a key ability to build in our focus. It does minor damage, however it does build 6 focus. So reducing the cooldown to this will increase our focus pool, again to increase our burst potential. This is the key ability for PvP for the combat build. Displacement allows our crippling throw to CC to snare the enemy in place. How was I at? So it has 100% to immobilize the target for 3 seconds. Also increases the range of our Pacify by 6 meters. Pacify is a defensive cooldown, you can see on the top right, which reduces its range and melee accuracy by 90%. This is a great ability to use, especially against other Sentinels who are using Master Strike on you. If you pop Pacify, you have a very high chance of not hitting you with those abilities. You find yourself in a 1v1 fight, and you know the enemy is popping all they have on you. Pacify is a great ability to use at that time. It'll help mitigate most of their damage. So Pacify will now have increased range. When you use Crippling Throw, it will snare them in place. So fleeing enemies, beware. Precision Slash is another key ability of the combat tree. Precision Slash, although it does minor damage, it grants precision for 4.5 seconds, which increases our armor penetration by 100%. Combat is a tank eating tree. With Precision Slash, any heavy armor class you come against will melt before your eyes. Swift Blade's pretty simple, reduce the Blade Storm cooldown by 3 seconds and focus cost by 2. So it's little less than nothing to cost it when you have Blade Storm and an opportune attack that procs. Fleet-footed makes our Force Camouflage chance to break all movement and parrying effects. Additionally increases the movement speed of Transcendence by 30%. Transcendence is our main group utility ability in the combat tree. This will allow everybody in the group to move 50%, but with this, you add Force or Fleet-footed to it, everybody will move 80% faster for 10 seconds. It also increases melee and range defense. Another great way to use Force Camouflage is especially against sniper classes. This tree is great against those type of classes that like to flee, because your Vicious Throw will cripple them, and when they try to snare you in place, you can go invisible and get back on target again and start laying waste to their faces. Saber Storm increases the critical strike damage bonus of Blade Storm and Blade Rush by 30%. It's pretty self-explanatory. With your Blade Rush having a 100% chance to crit after an Nataro form hit, this will only increase the further damage of your Blade Storm. Now again, we were going over earlier why we don't take 2 points in the stagger, and that's because with this ability, Debilitation, Master Strike has a 100% chance to immobilize the target for the duration of the ability. What this means is when you leap onto a target, you pop them with your Precision Slash to decrease the armor, you hit them with the Master Strike, and they are not going anywhere. And the only way that they can get out of the Master Strike is to knock you back. They cannot, they can only knock you back. They cannot interrupt you. Saber Screen, when your Tara form deals damage, your damage reduction and melee and range defenses are increased by 2%, stacks up to 3 times. So essentially you have a 6% damage damage decrease buff, I should say. They added this in 2.0 to help with the defensive capabilities of combat, because as I said before, with no healing capabilities and no central stance that increases our defense, Saber Screen now helps us to survive a little bit longer. Contemplation reduces the cooldown of all by 15 seconds. Now, the second part of this ability is the most crucial part. When you will build 30 centering over the course of using introspection. So essentially what this means is at the beginning of a fight, or at the beginning of a PvP match, you want to hit introspection. You will build 30 stacks of centering so you can go into a fight completely front loaded with your Zen and your Inspiration or your Transcendence completely off a cooldown. Or active without having to build any centering or having to use Valorous Call. You can go into a fight using Zen, run out of focus, run out of Zen, build your focus up again, use Valorous Call, repop Zen, and you have extreme burst potential. It is great, and I love that they added this to the combat tree. Hand of Justice. So your Retarded Form damage has a 45% chance to trigger Hand of Justice, which finishes the cooldown of your Precision Slash and your Dispatch. And it makes your next Dispatch free, usable on any target, so you don't have to wait until they get under 30% health to use this. The key ability here is that your Precision Slash come off a cooldown, which is that armor penetration ability. So you can really keep a heavy armored foe with his armor less than nothing, have Precision Slash constantly coming off down. Of course, Blade Rush is our main ability. Blade Rush replaces the Slash ability. Blade Rush strikes the target with both weapons, automatically triggers an Retarded Form strike. Now, to automatically get that 100% crit on our Blade Storm, we have to use Blade Rush first. Blade Rush will trigger that Retarded Form strike. Now we're going to go ahead and commit to these points. Alright guys, now we're going to go over a sample PvP rotation. Everybody has their own way of doing things. This is how I do it. Take what I say here with a grain of salt. If you feel that there's a better way to do things, then please, you can always talk about it, and you can always visit my stream or leave a comment below. I'm always open to suggestions and improvements. So we're going to start by using making sure our Retarded Form is active in the first place. Start by using introspection, watching our stacks of Sentinel build to 30. As you can see, Zen comes off of proc, or Zen comes up for proc. We can use our Zen and our Transcendence. We're going to start with the Force Leap, followed by a Precision Slash, followed by a Master Strike. Our Precision Slash guarantees maximum damage, and our Master Strike will immobilize the target. We're going to hit him with the Zealous Strike to build our focus. Notice our Precision Slash is off a cooldown. Hit him with the Precision Slash. Hit him with the Blade Rush. Hit him with the Blade Storm. That is a basic beginning opening rotation. Now we're going to go into something a little more complex. The main ability we always want to watch for is for our Precision Slash and our Dispatch to come off a cooldown. When we're in the middle of a fight, we see our Precision Slash come off cooldown. That is our #1 priority ability. Precision Slash will guarantee that our other abilities are doing maximum damage. Let's attack this dummy, and we'll watch Precision Slash come off a cooldown. We're gonna hit him with the Leap, hit him with the Precision Slash, hit him with the Master Strike. Hit him with a Zealous Strike to build focus, hit him with the Blade Rush, then hit him with a Force Blade to guarantee that crit. We see nothing's come off the cooldown, so we're going to hit him with a Blade Rush again, hit him with the Precision Slash, hit him with a Zealous Strike again to build our focus, hit him with the Blade Rush, another Blade Rush, and we see our Precision Slash and our Dispatch came off cooldown. We hit him with a Precision Slash, hit him with the Dispatch, and hit him with back to our Zealous Strike again to build our focus. And we see Master Strike is off cooldown, so we want to try to get away and leap to get that 5% increased damage. For some reason this dummy's evading. Good job, Swap. Precision Slash, Master Strike again. From here on, it's a matter of watching your focus and watching your procs. Now we're going to go over how Zen works. Before you use Zen, you want to try to make sure that your focus is maximized as much as you can in the situation. So if you notice, when I pop Zen, I can use my abilities much quicker. We're going to go ahead and Force Leap onto the target, hit him with the Precision Slash, hit him with the Zealous Strike. Now we have maximum focus. Now we're going to pop our Zen. Now we're going to spam our Blade Rush, get our Blade Storm off, hit him with the Precision Slash, hit him with the Dispatch, hit him with the Blade Rush, hit him with the Blade Rush. then our Zen is now used up. We've kept our focus. We're going to use Valorous Call to get that Zen back, pop Zen again, and then go with the rotation again. Make sure you're blade rushing before you're using, make sure you're blade rushing before using your Blade Storm. There you have it, folks. That is a basic damage rotation for PvP. Now, things you want to notice, pay attention to, are if your enemy tries fleeing or is constantly healing himself, use the crippling throw. It will CC him in place. It will snare him. If you don't have that snare up, use your leg slash, which will slow him down by 50%. Help you stay on target as well. If they're also fleeing, make sure you use your force stasis well, you're not choking him as a Jedi Knight, but you're raising him in the air and keeping him in place. Also want to use your force camouflage because you will move much quicker and be able to stay on target. Of course, use your force leap to stay on target. And also use your double saber throw, which will slow the enemy down by 50% as well. Now into our defensive abilities. Our main defensive ability is Rebuke because it has the shortest cooldown. Now this reduces all damage taken by 20% while this is active. You deal a minimum amount of energy damage back to the target when it hits you. It lasts 6 seconds. However, Rebuke can refresh itself to its full duration every time you're attacked, which lasts for up to 30 seconds in total. So if you're constantly being attacked when you use Rebuke, you will have that 30% debuff for 30 seconds. Our Guarded by the Force is our last ditch ability to get out of some shit. Guarded by the Force will take away 50% of our current health to give us 99% reduction in damage. You see here, it took away 50% of my health, but I would take little to no damage right now with this ability cast. Our Saber Ward reduces all melee and ranged defenses increases melee and ranged defenses by 50%. Reduces the damage taken from force and tech attacks by 25%. Now, when you know you're going into a large group fight and you're going to be targeted by quite a bit of people, you usually want to pop Rebuke and your Saber Ward. Only when you're being targeted though, otherwise it could be a wasted ability. It's also great for your 1v1 situations, but I typically try to save it for. Of course, make sure you use your Awe if you have fleeing enemies, or to stop somebody from capping, or to, I guess that's really the main reasons to use that. And then make sure to use your Pacify, especially in a 1v1 fight. Pacifies the target, reduces the range melee accuracy by 90%. The majority of the attacks they use while they have Pacify debuffed on them will miss. Alright guys, now we're going to go into our Transcendence. Transcendence is a great ability for group utility, especially when trying to move between capturing points. Transcendence also uses 30 stacks of centering, so if you're worried about your burst damage, then try to avoid using Transcendence. As you can see here, you move at a much quicker rate using Transcendence. And this applies to the whole group. This is great for moving from one capture point to the next, or from capturing up to an enemy, or from running to a base or to a defense point to defend it. Inspiration is an ability I don't use very often, however it is great in large group fights. It increases all damage and healing dealt by 15% to the group. So it is another group utility fight. Oftentimes it's worthwhile if you make sure you call it out if people really want to need it. If you see the situation fit, you can use Inspiration. Of course, make sure you're always using your force kicks to interrupt those healers. Force kick, along with your force stasis, along with all your snares, along with your interruption from force leap, and really shut down a healer pretty simply with the combat spec. Alright guys, that's essentially the down and dirty that I can give on the combat spec DPS Sentinel. Now again, like I said, this is my first guide, so please take it easy on me. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. And again, feel free to catch my stream at twitch.tv/MavenGaming. Thanks for